Alright, guys, it is Wednesday, July 7th, 2021 at 2:39 p.m. Alright, guys, let's start with the Bible verse. We have verse of the day. In your danger, do not sin. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. And do not give the devil a foothold. Ephesians 4:26-27. Alright, guys, so that's the verse of the day. You can check out more verses um, on dailyverses.net. I'll leave a link for it if you guys feel like checking it out. Let's start. Haiti is the only country in the Western Hemisphere without vaccines. This was published on June 8th, 2021. This will link with another article that we're about to talk about. It says Haiti, the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere, has earned another grim distinction. It is the only one that hasn't vaccinated a single resident against COVID-19. Alright, so apparently the government couldn't get vaccines into the country. But this ties with this. Haiti President Jovenel Moise assassinated in attack on his residence. Alright, it says breaking news. Haiti's President Jovenel Moise was killed during an attack on his private residence early on Wednesday, according to the country's acting Prime Minister Claude Joseph. Joseph said in a statement that a group of unidentified individuals stormed Moise's home at around 1 a.m. and fatally wounded the head of state. He described the assassination as a heinous, inhumane, and barbaric act. In a further statement, Joseph said the president was killed in a highly coordinated attack by a highly trained and heavy armed group. He did not specify how Moise died. Haiti's First Lady Martine Moise was shot in the attack and is being evacuated to a hospital in Miami for treatment, said Haiti's ambassador to the U.S. Her condition is stable but critical, Ambassador Bochy Edmond said in a press briefing. The country has been reeling from the violence for weeks. Addressing the nation in a televised statement, Joseph declared a state of siege in Haiti and pleaded with citizens to remain calm. Me and all the ministers have been working since the news broke, and we want to assure you that we'll bring of the president to justice, he added. Please stay calm and let the authorities do their work. We do not want the country to plunge into chaos. This is a very sad day for our nation and our people. The stage of the siege in the middle of 3 levels of emergency under Haitian law, alongside the lower state of emergency and the highest level referred to as the state of war. So they're pretty much under state of emergency because of this heinous attack. But it is quite interesting that Haiti is the only country in the Western Hemisphere that wasn't getting vaccinated. I'm just bringing that to the attention of you guys so you guys can see if you guys have us to see and ears to hear. Alright, next, Biden announces door-to-door outreach, outlines other strategies to boost vaccinations. So he's pretty much going door-to-door, or having people go door-to-door for the vaccines. It says Dr. Safier warns Biden's door-to-door vaccine push may be viewed as confrontational. It says Dr. Nicole Sapier warned on Wednesday that Biden's announced door-to-door vaccine campaign, while viewed by some as public educational outreach, may be viewed as confrontational. The president found himself a bit of a dichotomy during that speech. On one hand, he's declaring an independence from the virus, and he's right because the Americans have the opportunity to choose to be vaccinated to protect themselves and their loved ones from the pandemic, but declaring that independence does not mean the pandemic is over. But now all of a sudden he says, and by the way, we're going to send grassroots, low-level government workers to your house. And while some people might see this as a public educational push, which is always a good thing, the more education the better, others may see this as confrontational. And I can tell you, Dana, that that's not how you're going to reach that vaccine hesitant population by sending people to their house. They're going to already feel that you're invading their space. And that is 100% right. A lot of people are going to feel their space violated just by having people from the government coming to knock on their doors. So heads up for people who keep an eye on all this type of stuff. And also, please don't be violent with people that come to your door. If you do go have somebody knock on your door, talk to them about Jesus, talk to them about Christ. Be positive. Don't be violent. You don't want to end up in the news as somebody who attacked people from the government. That's just totally wrong. But just a heads up that Biden has people possibly coming to people's doors. Alright, next. Tropical storm Elsa makes landfall on North Florida's Gulf Coast, pushing toward Georgia and the Carolinas. It says Tropical Storm Elsa made landfall in North Florida's Gulf Coast late on Wednesday morning, battering the area with heavy rain, knocking out power, and threatening more wind damage and flooding as it moves inland. Elsa's center, just sustained winds of 65 miles an hour, was hitting Taylor County in Florida's Big Bend rain at around 11 a.m. Eastern, the National Hurricane Center said. Having already caused flooding in west central Florida, Elsa is on the path to pound North Florida and parts of Georgia into Thursday evening, then eventually the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic coast. So, Elsa is heading up the coast from Florida to Georgia, up to South Carolina and North Carolina. So heads up for you people living in the coast. As I have been saying, be prepared for hurricane season. You need canned goods, candles, flashlights, bottled water, enough for your family and your pets, and pet food. Make sure that you have a possibility of a weather radio, and make sure to keep your eye on your neighbors. It's always good to help each other out in the neighborhood when disaster strikes. Alright, next, the Ever Given. Ship that blocked the Suez Canal sets sail after deal signed. It says a huge container ship that blocked the Suez Canal in March, disrupting global trade, is finally leaving the waterway after Egypt signed a compensation deal with its owners and insurers. The Ever Given weighed anchor shortly after 11:30 local time, 9:30 GMT, and headed north towards the Mediterranean, escorted by tugs. The ship has been impounded for 3 months near the canal city of Ismailia. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but Egypt has demanded $550 million. As it got underway, the Egyptian TV showed footage of the captain and crew member being presented with flowers and a plaque on board of the ship. So that ship is setting sail again. Hopefully it doesn't clog up the Suez Canal ever again. Alright, next. Confirmed death toll in Miami Beach area. Condo collapse rises to 46 people. Officials are still calling the grueling dig a search and rescue mission, though sounding less hopeful, as Thursday will mark 2 weeks since the collapse. 46 people are now confirmed dead in the Miami Beach area. Condo's building's partial collapse, officials said Wednesday, while announcing 10 more recovered bodies, the biggest single day spike in the death toll yet. With 94 people still unaccounted for, crews have not found anyone alive since shortly after half the Champlain Towers south in Surfside, Florida, crumbled into a pile of rubble in less than a minute early on June 24th. Of the 46 people confirmed dead, 32 have been identified and their families notified, Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava said on Wednesday. Officials are still calling the grueling, nearly non-stop dig a search and rescue mission, though sounding less hopeful, as Thursday will mark 2 weeks since the collapse. So pray for the people and the families having to deal with this disaster. Alright, and finally, I wanted to take a look at, we were just talking about, seeing a video about We're Running Out of Time by Perry Stone. It says the prophetic scripture says that time will be cut short. Are we in the season where that has begun? That is an interesting video that I had seen. I'll leave a link for it so you guys can check it out, about time becoming short.
I want to tell you a story.
About time becoming short. Excuse me, guys. About time becoming short. Supposedly, time when, in the Bible, time when Moses was being warned to build a ship, it was a couple of years. But for Lot, when he was escorted out of the city by angels, it was a couple of days, or like it wasn't even a month. It was a couple of days. They're wondering if time is becoming short or shorter for us modern time Christians, for warnings or for disasters. So I'll leave a link for that article, for that video, so you guys can check it out. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and God bless you guys. See you guys next time. Stay safe out there.